The silent years of Jesus, when nothing seems to be happening. Imagine this. You know you were born for something big. Not small, not average, something world-changing. But then, nothing happens. Days pass, months pass, years pass, no spotlight, no breakthrough, no clear sign that anything is moving, just silence. Now listen carefully, because this is not your story alone. This is the part of Jesus' life most people skip. We talk about the miracles, we talk about the cross, we celebrate the resurrection. But what about the years in between? From age 12 to 30, 18 years of silence, 18 years of what exactly? Luke 2:52 gives us one quiet line. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. That's it. No miracles recorded, no crowds, no sermons, just growth. And if you're honest, that sounds a lot like your life right now. Picture this. You're in Nazareth, a small town, quiet, ordinary. People wake up, go to work, talk about the same things every day. And somewhere in that same town, Jesus is there. Not preaching, not healing, not walking on water. He's working, maybe cutting wood, maybe fixing doors, maybe carrying tools, the savior of the world, holding a hammer. Now pause. If you were his neighbor, what would you say? You might whisper, "Wasn't this the boy they said was special?" Another replies, "Yeah, but look at him now, just a carpenter." And someone laughs, "Maybe we expected too much." Sound familiar? People see your potential, then they start doubting when nothing happens fast. Let's be real, we live in a world that worships speed, quick money, quick success, quick fame. Nobody claps for slow growth. But heaven does, because God is not in a hurry. But he is always on time. Think about it. Jesus had the power to heal at 13. He could have raised the dead at 15. He could have shocked the world at 18. But he didn't. Why? Because purpose without preparation is dangerous. Let me say that again, like a neighbor arguing across the fence. Maybe the reason nothing is happening is not because God forgot you. Maybe he's building you. Imagine a young man sitting under a tree, watching Jesus walk by. He nudges his friend and says, "You see that guy? He's been here for years. Quiet, no noise." The friend shrugs. Maybe he's just ordinary. But heaven whispers, "Wait." Because something powerful was happening in those silent years. Jesus was not inactive, he was intentional. He was learning patience, practicing discipline, living obedience. Hebrews 5:8 says, "Though he was a son, he learned obedience from what he suffered." Even Jesus learned, not rushed, not skipped, learned. Now let's bring it closer to you. What do you do when life feels stuck, when your prayers feel delayed, when your effort feels unnoticed, when your dream feels paused? You grow. But growth is quiet. Growth doesn't trend. Growth doesn't go viral. Growth happens when nobody is watching. Let me ask you something like a riddle. What grows silently, feels slow, and is often mistaken for failure, but is actually preparation? Answer: your season right now. Some people say if God really chose you, things would be happening already. But that's not how God works. Because if he gave you everything too early, it might destroy you. You don't hand a child the keys to a car and say, "Drive." You train, you guide, you prepare. And maybe, just maybe, your delay is not denial, it's training. Think of it like this. A tree does not fight to grow tall overnight. It goes deep first, roots before fruits, and the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. Now imagine Mary watching Jesus during those years. She knew who he was, she heard the angel, she saw the signs, yet she watched him live a normal life. No miracles, no announcements, just waiting. Do you think she ever wondered, "Lord, when? When will things change? When will doors open? When will my time come?" Here's the truth most people don't like. God is more interested in who you are becoming than what you are becoming. Because platforms don't build character. Private seasons do. Let's talk real. You don't build patience in success. You build it in waiting. You don't build strength in comfort. You build it in pressure. You don't build faith when everything is working. You build it when nothing makes sense. James 1 verse 4 says, "Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Did you catch that? Let it finish. Don't interrupt your process just because it feels slow. Now imagine a conversation in Nazareth. Someone says, I heard Jesus is still doing carpentry. Another responds, 30 years old, still no sign of anything big. And someone else shrugs, maybe he missed his moment. But heaven says, no, his moment is being prepared. Because when Jesus finally stepped out, everything changed. One sermon, crowds gathered. One miracle, people followed. One moment, history shifted. But that moment was built on silent years. Here's a simple truth. What looks like nothing is often everything in disguise. Let me say something that might hit you. If Jesus didn't rush his purpose, why are you rushing yours? We panic when things don't move. We compare timelines. We measure progress by visibility. But God measures differently. He asks, are you faithful in private? Are you consistent when nobody claps? Are you obedient when it's boring? Because purpose is not just about what you do. It's about who you become while waiting to do it. Let's bring in daily life. You plant maize today, you don't harvest tomorrow. You study today, you don't graduate tomorrow. You train today, you don't win tomorrow. So why do we expect instant results in spiritual growth? Even Jesus walked the slow road. And here's something powerful. Those silent years made his voice stronger. Because when he finally spoke, he spoke with authority. Not noise, authority. So maybe your silence is sharpening your voice. Let's flip the question. Instead of asking, why is nothing happening? Ask, what is God building in me right now? Because something is happening. You're learning, you're growing, you're being shaped, even if nobody sees it. And one day, what was hidden will be revealed. Like a seed breaking through the soil. Like the sun rising after a long night. Like a story that suddenly makes sense. John 2 shows us Jesus' first miracle, turning water into wine. But that moment didn't come from nowhere. It came from years of preparation, years of quiet obedience, years of unseen growth. So when your time comes, you won't just show up, you'll be ready. Let me speak to you directly now. If you feel forgotten, you're not. If you feel delayed, you're not denied. If you feel stuck, you're being prepared. Because God doesn't waste seasons. He uses them. And maybe your story will be like this. People will say, where did this come from? And heaven will answer, it was being built all along. So don't rush your process. Don't quit in the quiet. Don't underestimate the silent years. Because even Jesus, the Savior of the world, spent years in silence before stepping into purpose. And if he trusted the process, maybe you can too. Now let me ask you, what if nothing is happening because everything is being prepared? If this spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Comment, I trust the process, and remind someone else, your silent season is not empty, it's powerful.